Hey everybody, Charles from HumbleMechanic.com. Today, I'm taking your questions on impact sockets, horn problems, being too old for tech school, and more. This is episode 163 of the Humble Mechanic Podcast. All right, so we are a little delayed this week. We just got power back on thanks to Hurricane Matthew, so we're all safe and sound. Thoughts and good wishes go out to all those folks dealing with all that flooding because it's pretty nasty stuff in the southeast of the United States. So if you want a question on a show like this, be sure to email me, charles@humblemechanic.com. Put question for Charles in the subject. Mash the enter button a few times, then give me the details of your questions. That helps me answer your question much faster. Also, if you don't see a question on a show like this, be sure to check the quick videos playlist where I simply answer one question at a time. Now, a couple other things before we get into the show. SEMA's coming up very quickly. I'm going to be doing a ton of stuff at the CRP booth there, so be sure to stay tuned in social media-wise. Probably be doing a lot on Facebook Live, and I should have a bunch of videos coming from SEMA and Apex Show. In addition to that, there's a really big thing coming called Road to SEMA. There's going to be myself and a bunch of other amazing automotive YouTubers, dudes that are way cooler than I am. So keep your ear to the ground as well on that. Start searching maybe Road to SEMA hashtag, and you'll probably find some of that coming very soon. Now, before I get into your questions, let's talk about the sponsor of the day, which is CRP Automotive. CRP deals in a ton of OE maintenance and repair parts, timing belt kits, suspension components, and even fluids. In fact, they make the factory DSG fluid for Volkswagen and Audi. So check them out at crpautomotive.com. One other quick thing, I'm still kind of nursing a cold, so my voice is even a little weirder than normal. Just bear with me, guys. Hopefully I'll be on the other end of this very soon. But with all that wrapped up, now let's get into your questions. First one comes from Michael. Thank you for your videos. I enjoy watching them and learning about being a mechanic. If someone were to go to tech school as a person over 50 years old, would they have a chance of being hired after they graduate? Or would they most likely not be able to find a job as a tech at a dealership? Also, at the dealership, are the mechanics under pressure to finish jobs in a timely manner, at least as quickly as the flat rate says it will take? For example, 1 hour to do a brake job, etc. Would a tech be fired if they don't consistently average the flat rate set time to do a job? Two great questions, Michael. Let's talk about the being too old for tech school thing first. Man, I don't really ever want to say you're too old to do something, because if you really want to do it, like if that's your thing and you're going to work your butt off to get it done, who am I to say that you're too old, too short, too tall, too whatever to do the thing you want to do, right? If you want it bad enough, you're going to figure out a way to do it. Let's look at it from an employer standpoint, though. Most of the guys coming out of tech school, the guys and girls coming out of tech school are going to be, early 20s, mid 20s even, some in their teens. These are young people that are going to be coming out, and you're twice their age. It's going to be really challenging to compete with them at that level. So as an employer, I'm looking at, I can hire someone that's 20 or 50 with the same training. Now, the 50-year-old has a ton more life experience, obviously, but let's say you worked in IT and you didn't know anything about fixing cars before you went in, skill sets being the same thing. A lot of them are going to hire the 20-year-old. The 20-year-old's probably going to move faster. The 20-year-old is going to have longer term, right? Their career is going to be longer. This is a very physically demanding job, and it can be incredibly hard as a young person to keep your body healthy. And as you get older and your body starts to break down, it gets even worse. So I'm not going to say that's too old, because that would be incredibly ignorant of me, but I would be very cautious before I dove in to pay a ton of money for tech school to try and land a job at a dealership at 50, 55, 60. It's going to be really tough to find a dealership that's going to pull that trigger. What I might do, I would go to a dealer first and find a place that would be willing to hire you, willing to sponsor you as you went through tech school. That way at least you got a job. So that would be the route I think I would probably take. And again, if you want to do this, rock and roll, make it happen. Anybody that wants something bad enough, they're going to find a way to do it. As far as the flat rate question, this is dealership specific. I would like to say no one's going to get fired. The great thing about flat rate from a management and an ownership standpoint is if you're not working, you're not getting paid. So it's not like they're just paying you hourly to take 4 times longer to do a job. So most places aren't going to simply fire someone because they're not meeting their hour quota or their hours are really low. But what they're going to do is they're going to bring another technician in to overcome that gap in hours. If your position is expected 60 hours a week, you're turning 20 hours a week, they're going to bring someone else to fill that other 40 to 50 to 60. Eventually, that's going to cut into that technician that slows time, and that can create a whole lot of problems, animosity, a bad work environment. So I don't think most places would actually fire someone, but they're going to do the things they have to do to keep productivity overall in the shop at the level that they need it. So I don't think they're going to get canned, but boy, it'll be a tough, tough road ahead. And let's face it, from a technician standpoint, you're simply not going to make the money that it's really going to need to have to pay the bills. So in that situation, I would probably recommend someone find an hourly position if they're worried about being slow. Early on, we expect it. We don't want people working really, really fast. We want them to take their time and learn how to do the job properly. But once you're a full-fledged technician, there are going to be efficiency expectations anywhere in the 100 to 120% that most techs are going to be expected to meet. All right, next one comes from Juan. Hey Charles, awesome videos. I'm in tech school for Lexus and would like to know your opinion on gray pneumatic duo sockets. Do you own a set? If so, have you broken any? Again, great videos. I'm learning a ton about VWs. Juan, awesome question. So I don't own any gray sockets, right? I own a lot of other sockets, and I have broken a socket from every single brand of tool that I own, minus the Sonic tools. But I've also been using all these other tools a lot longer. So are you going to break one at some point? Probably. That's just part of it, right? It happens to all technicians. They break a tool, whether it's, their 17 millimeter socket for me that I use all the time to take wheels off, or the specialty thing that you only use once in a while. Any socket, any ratchet, any wrench, any hammer, any screwdriver has the potential to break. I've heard really great things about gray brand sockets. The only caution that I have heard is that it can be really challenging to get them replaced under warranty. Now, having never experienced that, I can't tell you that 100% for sure, but there are people that I know in the industry that I trust what they say that have said they've struggled with getting them replaced or repaired. Well, I guess you really wouldn't repair a socket, but get it replaced. So that would be my only word of caution, but I have heard more positive than negative about them. And again, not knowing from experience, I can't tell you from my standpoint. But what I would ask is that in the comments, let's help Juan out. If you guys have experience with gray sockets, let them know your experience and what you think. And if you love them, hate them, had any issues, or never had a problem. All right, next one comes from Mary. We have a 2012 Jetta TDI that we've been having some weird issues with lately. The horn stopped working. When we press it, we hear a click, but no sound. The alarm horn still makes sound. Also, the CD only works intermittently along with the Bluetooth, and the sound quality is poor. It starts to crackle when you're on the phone with Bluetooth, then malfunctions. We can hear them, but they can't hear us. The CD player sometimes says error and will not play. If listening to music on Bluetooth, it just stops working on occasion. I've Googled around and it seems the horn could be a fuse, but we have no idea what's up with the CD player. So Mary, let's talk about the horn first. I'm going to almost guarantee you the actual horn is bad. I've seen a bunch of horns go out. It's near where the serpentine belt is on the lower end passenger side. You can take it out. You can take a test light and have someone hit the horn with the key on. The horns don't work with the key off. Hit the horn with the key on and see if your test light lights up. Or just go ahead and put a horn in it, because I'm almost 100% positive that your horn is going to be an issue. With the radio, this could be a couple of things. With the CD error, you need to make sure you're not using burned CDs. Some of these CD players get really upset when they're not like factory produced CDs. Or try multiple CDs, because if you just have one that's failing, it's probably just that CD. Now for the Bluetooth issue, depending on what radio you have, there's a lot of radio updates out there, and the best thing to do would be to take it to your local dealership and have them look to see if there are any updates. There's updates for almost all the radios, especially in the 09 to 12 to 13 range, that fix a lot of weird glitchy issues like this. So I would take it in and have them look to see if there's an update for your radio. You didn't mention what kind of radio you have. That's okay. You really do have to have your hands on the radio to see whether the updates apply or not. What we'll do is we'll go into a back screen of the radio and we'll see if what software level is. If software level is too low, we update it and go fix whatever, hopefully, right? Especially Bluetooth issues, a lot of that stuff's fixed with software. So take it in on that. And again, with the horn, that's probably what you're gonna need for it. All right, got time for one more. This one comes from Doug. Hey Charles, Doug from San Diego. Hope all is well with you back east and you have power again. Yay, power again. I'm looking to purchase an '08 to 2010 Mark V Jetta GLI or GTI with the DSG. Wondering what to look out for on those years. I've never owned a turbo car. I do 85% of my own work on cars, but it seems to be getting harder and harder to do stuff on a VW, especially without owning VAGCOM. Yeah, it really is. Going forward, a lot of you DIYers that have been getting by without scan tools, you're going to want to pick up a scan tool. It'll be worth the money. My daughter's car is an '08 Mark V 2.5, which has already had the full EPC fix, throttle body and etc., as well as 3 door lock modules and the compressor replaced. It appears the GLI is just a Jetta with the same motor as the GTI in it. I don't want to get burned by buying a bum car. Thanks, really enjoy watching and waiting for each Monday when you come out with your new videos as well as your Facebook Live. For those of you guys that aren't on Facebook, I do Facebook Live every once in a while. Nothing like hard on the calendar, but they're about once a week. And of course, this show is not on Monday. Hopefully this is a Wednesday that it's coming out. But Doug, let's talk Mark V issues. So the problems with your daughter's car are also pretty common, more on the Jetta than on the GTI, but the door latch thing was a Mark V across the board, basically. Jetta, Sport Wagon, Golfs. Jettas and Sport Wagons were the most common, but GTIs did have it too. The other thing you want to do is I'll put a link probably up here and down in the description to the most common Mark V failure video that I did. You can check that out. The other things, depending on what version '08 you buy, it could be the FSI, which is the belt-driven 2-liter, or the TSI, which is the chain-driven 2-liter. Both of them have their fair share of issues. FSI was a lot of camshaft issues, oil issues. TSI is timing chain tensioner issues, water pump leaks, intake manifolds. Truth is, both of these combinations or any of these combinations are going to have their issues. This is very, very, very important to take it to a Volkswagen Audi specialist place. Whether it's the dealer, whether it's a really good independent shop, I don't care. Get someone to look at it, make sure they scan all the faults, and go through the car top to bottom, left to right, in and out to make sure that if something's gonna happen, you at least know about what it's gonna be and what it's gonna cost. You know, the 2-liter FSIs were notorious about burning up AC compressors, like AC systems, very similar to what the 2.5 that your daughter's car had. That was expensive, right? We don't have a ton of DSG issues. There were a lot of mech units early on, but I think most of those got replaced. Now we're looking at more clutch pack issues or gearbox issues, entire gearboxes. If you get a TSI with a chain driven, you're gonna wanna put a timing chain tensioner in it. I'll try and link up a video I did on that, on how to check to see what version that you have, so you can check that out. There's a tiny inspection plug that you have to remove and you can inspect the tensioner. Oil leaks on both of them. Boy, and again, the body stuff of the Jetta, door latches and things like that. Horns, like someone else had asked about, those are semi-common too. So I'll link up a couple other videos you want to check out. Again, guys, as I always recommend, when you're buying a car, especially used, that you're not familiar with, take it and have someone look and have them examine that car. Because I can shoot all the videos I want saying, hey, here's all the 100 problems that this car has. And hey, here's how to inspect each car, each model, each generation for these issues. But without someone looking at that exact car, you're shooting dice. And I'd hate for you, just like you said, to make a purchase that you regret. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there. As you can tell, my voice is starting to get a little weirder than the weirdness that was at the beginning. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. If you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Hey, if you like this video, throw it a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. You can also subscribe on YouTube or on the blog at humblemechanic.com. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course on Snapchat. Be sure to look out for the road to SEMA. Some of the key players at this point anyway is myself, Eric the Car Guy, Jason from Engineering Explained, Chris Fix, Subaru WRX fan, Saab Kyle is on the list as potential, Brian's Mobile One, and probably a couple of others. None of those guys have 100% committed, but boy, that's a cool list of people. And if any combination of those guys come together, this is going to be an amazing, amazing event. So more on that soon. Be sure you guys are listening for that. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.